Hi, I'm Mickey Dolenz here at Beatlefest, and you're watching Taped with Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. We are here for the Fest for Beatles Fans 2023 at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare in Chicago. And I am here with musician extraordinaire, former TV guest of mine, repeated TV guest of mine, and the musical director of the band Liverpool here at Beatlefest. This is Drew Hill. Drew, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Welcome live to Chicago for the 2023 Chicago Beatlefest. Fest for Beatles fans. We're not allowed to say Beatlefest anymore.
But we say it anyway.
You didn't hear me say that.
So Beatlefest has been going on for decades now. It's amazing. And I love that even post-pandemic, you are still doing your online music. You're still performing just to entertain the masses because you have so many fans throughout the country and the world. And it's so much fun to watch. It's fun to watch when you do it in your own little studio, and it's fun to watch when you do your live shows with people in clubs and restaurants and whatever, watching you and asking you to play songs. Your repertoire is so wide, and I don't always see you using music or anything. I think most of the stuff you do by heart and know your songs that you do.
I'm a musical identity crisis, and the thing is with me, it's like musically, if I've heard it, it's in here, I can play it. It's just I'm lyrically deficient, so if you see me using the laptop, it's always like just pulling up.
So you came out about a year ago with a single, which a lot of fans are so into your music and stuff, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
You have something else coming out? Is there something new happening with you?
I'm working on completing an album. It fell behind because we ran into a lot of technical difficulties. But yeah, probably the end of September we're going to be releasing the Drew Hill album.
Great. What's your favorite thing that you're doing these days? Because you are traveling around, you're playing with other musicians, you're doing a lot of stuff. What's your favorite thing to do outside of the fest and the reuniting each festival of Liverpool?
Well, honestly, writing. I love writing, I love recording, I love doing anything along that line. I love interacting with other musicians, like I'm working with Joey and Gregg, and Joey Mullen from Badfinger and Gregg Bissonette, probably the greatest drummer in the world.
Who's Ringo Starr's all-star band drummer.
So, I mean, you want to talk about fun when you get together with these guys and you just feel like, there's no celeb stuff. It's all just three musicians, numerous musicians getting together and being cool.
Just great.
Yeah, it's very humble. I love it.
Well, I'm so honored to have you open up this festival with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Drew Hill, a pleasure. Look forward to your music with Liverpool at this festival, and look forward to hearing many more good things. As we say in Jewish, Hatzlacha, which means much success with your new album.
Thank you very much.
Much success with your new album.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Rabbi Doug, because I've known this guy for God knows how long, and he's consistently bringing all artists to life.
He even sat down with the guitar on our show one time and had me sing with him, so that was so much fun too. Stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug at Beatlefest 23. We'll be back.
1, 2, 3,
Tell you I need every single day.
Welcome to Tape with Rabbi Doug once again. We are here at Beatlefest 23, and I'm here with the infamous, famous, amazing Pattie Boyd. For those of you who might not know her by name, she was married to George Harrison. She was later married to Eric Clapton. She is a famous model, a famous photographer, and actress, and has done so many things in her career, and we're happy to have her today. Her new book is Pattie Boyd, My Life in Pictures, and her first biography, which is an amazing book, is called Wonderful Tonight. And I want to ask you about Wonderful Tonight just for a moment. What was it that sparked you to say, I want to be an author? Because that was your first novel, your first book.
Well, what was happening is an awful lot of people said to me they thought I had a very interesting life and perhaps I should write a memoir.
Uh-huh.
So I believed them, and I found someone to help me write, because she's a very good writer, and so we put it together, and I think an awful lot of people enjoy reading it.
So this new book, My Life in Pictures, is it pictures that you've taken mainly because, or is it pictures of you that have been taken, or is it both? Is it a mixture?
It's mainly pictures that have been taken of me during my modelling days, and it's a sort of fashion history. You see how fashion changes gradually as time goes by, and so it's mainly pictures of me, which is not what I wanted. I wanted photographs that I had taken.
Yeah.
Anyway, my photographs that I've taken are in the sort of last 6 pages of the book.
Okay, and maybe there'll be a third book, which will be only photographs you've taken coming out in the near future.
That would be fun.
Wouldn't that be
Yes,
fun?
yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. Thank you for coming to the Fest for Beatle Fans 2023 here in Chicago. And I wish you just the most success with your new book and everything you do. You are a delight. We have a little piece of you being interviewed and answering questions today. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be on our show as well. And I just wish you all the best. God bless you for all you do.
Thank you very much.
All right, God bless you.
Thank you.
Pattie Boyd here on Tape with Rabbi Doug. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What was it like? Did he rehearse much? Did he practice much? How did he talk to you about his guitars, or what did you see in terms of George and his guitars at home?
This is Pattie Boyd, the wife of George Harrison and of Eric Clapton.
Well, he didn't really talk to me about his guitars because I'm not a musician, so I'm out of that picture. But he loved playing guitar almost all day, and he wouldn't have a special place. He obviously had a recording studio, but he only went there when he was recording. Otherwise, he would just be in one of the rooms in the house and play guitar. There'd always be a guitar standing up, propped up to a sofa or a chair, and he'd leave it there. And when he went away, and he'd come back, and wherever he sat, there's a guitar to play.
Hi, Pattie. I'm right here.
Hi there.
My name is Laura from River Grove, Illinois. I just had a question for you. Besides the 2 amazing songs that were written for you, what is your favorite song ever?
That's impossible for me to answer. Sorry.
Let's see, in the middle aisle here, we have time for 1 or 2 more questions, I have.
Yeah.
Oh, some of the hands. So your hands first.
Pattie, I'm curious as to what, I know George played the ukulele, and so I play ukulele, so I'm kind of interested in, did you see a lot of that around the house?
Yeah, I love playing the ukulele. And whenever Alvin Lee, great guitarist with
10 years after.
10 years after, he would come over because he was a neighbor, and they would play ukulele together. But one evening that I remember in particular, George invited me and my now husband over for dinner. And there were Joe Brown, all sorts of other musicians sitting around and drinking. And George produced all these ukuleles for them. And then my Rod sat down And I just looked in horror as George hands him a ukulele. And, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I couldn't bear it. I left the room watching George with his ukulele. I don't want to see this. I think he was all right though.
Arnie from Skokie, Illinois. Did you ever get to meet Muddy Waters, and have you hit the Chicago Blues Clubs? They are open tonight.
I know, I was thinking I'd like to go. Yeah, I've been to Buddy Guy's club. It's fantastic. Yeah. What?
Did you get a chance to talk to Buddy? Was he there that night?
He was in playing mood, so he was playing with Eric. And they were playing, I've got photos of it though. And
the Limelight in 87?
yeah, about then.
Okay, I was at that gig.
Were you?
I was in the audience. 2 in the morning is when Eric and the group came into his body.
Yeah.
Phil Collins played drums, and Robert McRae played, and a lot of the Chicago scene.
Yeah, it was a great evening. Yeah, and you mentioned Muddy Waters. I went to his wedding. How good is that?
I really have time for one more question.
Hi, Pattie. I'm Diane.
Hi, Diane.
I'm just wondering, what is your most favorite memory of George?
I think it has to be the last time I saw George. He knew he was ill. I don't know if he knew he was dying, but he wanted to see where I lived in my cottage. And he'd gone to see Ringo, who didn't live too far away. And he phoned me and said he was coming over. And I thought, oh, this is exciting, but he's never come over before. And anyway, he turned up, and I was in my darkroom doing some printing, banging on the door. So he came in, and we had tea. And we went into one of my fields, and he gave me a big hug. And then we went into the house, had some more tea, and he brought me lovely little gifts. And, he was so sweet and gentle. And he noticed in the crackling of some paving stones, a couple of little flowers were growing. They must have been dropped by a bird, must have dropped the seed, and they'd grown into little flowers. And it was a little bit windy, and George said to me, look at the flowers shivering. I thought, only George can think of flowers shivering. It was so sweet. And I don't know, he was just very gentle, very sweet, and very loving that day. And as he drove off, I thought, oh, I know this is the last time I'm going to see him.
You guys asked the greatest questions, and really, everyone was a fabulous question. And we thank you for being here, and let's give a hand, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Pattie Boyd. Wow. And thank you, Bruce, for the first half.
Welcome back. We're here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. I'm here with Gregg Bissonette. He is the drummer for the All-Star Band with Ringo, and he's an incredible drummer, possibly one of the top drummers in the world. And if you don't know this, he may be a little bit shy to say this. He is incredible, and you should get to know this guy. He's great. Tell me, how long, first of all, have you been with the All-Star Band for our viewers who don't know?
I've been with the All-Star Band since 2008, and since 2003 with Ringo and the Roundheads, the other band when Ringo does an album and he goes on late night TV. That's Ringo and the Roundheads. And my brother and I, he's the bass player with Elton John's band, he and I both joined Ringo and the Roundheads in 2003.
Wow, okay, so there's that famous WTTW Channel 11 and public TV video of you guys with the questions and answers with the Roundheads on stage. And yeah,
it's 2005.
Yeah, so that plays all the time. So I myself have seen that a number of times.
Can you get a copy and send it to me?
I'd be happy to. I will let you know. I'll let you know. We'll make that connection. Anyway, tell me, so we're coming to see you in October of 2023 at the Chicago Theater.
October 5th.
October 5th. Looking forward to the Chicago show. Haven't seen Ringo in maybe about 8-9 years, so I'm very excited. Very excited to do that with you. What's your favorite thing that you've done over the years besides the All-Star Band? What bands did you play with, or studio gigs were things that stand out in your mind that our viewers would be so interested in knowing?
Thank you. My favorite things would be with my brother. We do a lot of projects together. A band called Jughead, a band called the Mustard Seeds, a band called the Redcoats, and another band called the Red Locusts with my brother Matt and Rick Springfield and I and Steve Dudas from the Beatles and Mark Hart. So check out the Red Locusts and the Redcoats.
So are you still friendly with Mark Hudson at all?
Sure.
So Mark Hudson is a good friend of mine. So that's very cool, very cool.
Tell him I said hi and I'll do the same for you.
All right,
I love your time.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, this is Gregg Bissonette. Thanks so much for being with us. Stay with us here on Tape with Rabbi Doug at Beatlefest 23.
Hey, it's Gregg Bissonette from Ringo's All-Star Band, and you're watching Taped with Rabbi Doug.
We're here on Taped with Rabbi Doug, and once again back on the show with me is Tom Frangione. He is of the Beatles channel, Sirius XM. And Tom, welcome back to the show. Good to have you back. What's different this year with the people you've met? And tell me, what's it like to have like a Pattie Boyd who's not been here before in Chicago since the years I've been around, at least, if she ever has been before, but I don't think so. Is this the first time you've ever met her?
No, actually, being from the East Coast, Rabbi, she's done at least 2 shows at the New York Fest over the years. I mean, going back, we had her this year as well, but the last time wasn't probably for 20 years before that. So it's always great having her back, and she has a new book out and brought some of her fashion designs and things, so people really responded well.
For those of you who don't know, Pattie Boyd was the first wife of George Harrison, and then after their divorce, she was married to Eric Clapton. Did you ever have her on your radio show? Has she been on your show as an interviewee?
She has not. I've interviewed her on stage here at the fest, and she wrote a book years ago called Wonderful Tonight. It's just one of the many great rock songs that she was the muse for. So what happened there is she put out the book, and that's all she was going to sign at the fest. And I bought the book on CD because I said, in case she's not doing radio, guess what? I've got like 8 hours of her speaking about the songs that she inspired and the early days of the Beatles and things. So a radio show I was doing at the time, helping out on Joe Johnson's Beatle Brunch, a nationally syndicated weekly Beatles special. We use that quite extensively. That's what it's there for.
Very, very good, very good. So tell me what's happening with your radio shows. Are you still doing 3 shows?
3.5, kind of. 3.5. Yeah, so the 3 that I do are the Fab Forum, which is our live show Wednesday nights, 844-999-2328, with Dennis Elsis and Bill Flanagan, where we talk to anyone who wants to call in. So this week we're hoping that the board lights up with, it's Joe wants to talk about what a good time he had at the fest. It's Rabbi Doug wants to talk about what a good time he had at the fest. It's Linda wants to talk about what a good time she had at the fest. So we do that Wednesday nights live, 9 p.m. Eastern. We have another show on the channel that I host all to my lonesome, and it's really one that I love to dig in with. It's called Way Beyond Compare, and it's all the alternate versions and demos and
Love that show.
side projects. People who write in about that one, it is a passionate audience because they are the collectors and the students and the enthusiasts.
And one thing great about that show is you may have heard version 15 from take 15 from such and such a song, but you don't hear it again for 10 years, and all of a sudden there it is on Time Show.
Yeah, and that's what we try and do. We tell people it's songs you may not have heard, maybe ever, but at least in a long, long, long time.
It's great, great. And the third show?
And the third show is when I have the pleasure to host with a guy named David Frick called Apple Jam, where we play songs from the Beatles record label Apple, which they formed in 1968. So a lot of people got their launch there. James Taylor, Billy Preston, people like that. And we look at
Joey Mullen.
Joey from Badfinger.
He's here today.
Yes, this weekend. And what we do is examine how the Beatles used Apple as a platform to introduce artists that they were interested in. Maybe they were up and coming, maybe they were established. And we present all that music hopefully in a new and exciting way. And the half show, the third and a half show, I actually write one called Across the Universe. And it's our new weekly spotlight, just focusing on some different aspect of John Lennon's life every week. Dennis Elsis, radio legend from his days back in WNEW in New York City. He hosts it. He's got a very good tie to Lennon radio history. He did really probably the most historic interview John ever did in his life when he popped up there to WNEW one day. So he was a great voice and a great match to host that. So I work on that show with Dennis every week. So I'm doing those 4 right now, and we have so much more going on at the channel. The biggest thing that happened this past year for us was I had the chance to sit one-on-one with Sir Paul McCartney.
That was so cool.
And talk about the anniversary of one of my favorite albums of all time, Tug of War. And Paul, all I can tell you, Rabbi, is if you made a list of good adjectives, funny, smart, insightful, generous, friendly, he checked every one. And spending an hour with him talking about not only that album, but how the Beatles really have their stamp all over the album. We knew it wouldn't be difficult to get him to talk about Ringo. Why? Ringo's the drummer on this album. George Martin, the Beatles producer, produced this record. He wrote one of his very best songs called Here Today, which is about John. We knew we'd get that, but he dragged everyone in from the Beatles manager Brian Epstein to George Harrison's parents into the discussion, and he was just brilliant. We had a chance to present that interview here, uncut, twice over the weekend. Last night in the big ballroom and today in the video room. Had a full house both times, and people responded very well to it.
Tremendous, tremendous. Well, I can't thank you enough for being here once again. It's always good to see you. A pleasure always to chat with you. You are not only a talented interviewer and producer of great shows, but you are such a nice guy.
Oh, thank you, Rabbi.
Really a pleasure. Stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. This is Tom Frangione of the Beatles channel, Sirius XM, and we'll be back here at Beatlefest in Chicago, Illinois, 2023. Stay with us.
I'm Pattie Boyd, and you're watching Rabbi Doug.
Well, that's it for part 1 here at the Fest for Beatles Fans and 23, and I am here with Billy J. Kramer, formerly the Dakotas. This is the Billy J. Kramer. Billy, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to our show and this show here at Beatlefest. What brings you back every year besides the fans?
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's more like a family. I have a lot of friends up for many years, so it's just nice to see them.
Have you kept track how many fests you've done?
You know, so many.
Yeah, I mean, I met you 20 years ago, maybe the first time, 15, 20 years ago. It's amazing. And you come out with new music like this right here, the new Billy J. Kramer, I Won the Fight, and your book. Do you want to know a secret? Billy J. Kramer, you are busy with things all the time. And I heard you're going in to do some new recordings also.
It's my birthday coming up on the 19th of August.
Yes.
And I'm going to have a celebration party at Abbey Road, and then I'm going to make a new album.
Wonderful.
while I'm there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to see you, and I'm glad you always remember me. I wish you much success. I hope your album goes well. I want to wish you a happy birthday, many more in good health, and much success in all your endeavors with your book, with your music, and stay with us here next time on Tape with Rabbi Doug. Remember, you can check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com. You can also see former shows on the web. If you want to send Billy or anybody here at the fest an email or send us an email, info@tvrabbi.com. I will forward to them, and I'm sure they'll get back to you. And hope to see you next time at the next episode of the Fest for Beatle Fans 23, right here on Tape with Rabbi Doug. Shalom, everyone.
He gets up, working for most hours to sleep. Make sure he knows when to go. And down the street. Ride a train. Just like me. How come we have come this far? Still not really see. I'm the only. This is the only time I know. How many mornings will I wait? This part of me is you. Don't know how things got this way. I can't believe what they say. We were too long ago. What's going to have to wait? Climb the stairs, looking back. People just like me. How come we have come this far? Never really see. It's just the only time I know. How many mornings I know this part of me
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.